So did you miss a deadline? Was there a deadline given to you for audited financials? What happened?
Yes, we did miss the deadline, sir.
When was the deadline?
It was supposed to be last year, March 20.
Last year, March. Who's responsible for missing the deadline?
It's us as a board,
Who's in the board?
the four of us that are here.
Who's the four of us that are here?
Okay, it's myself as a chair,
Name, surname?
Patience Shikwambana,
Okay, next.
Blanche de la Guerre.
Excuse me?
Blanche de la Guerre.
Thank you.
Samir Khan.
Uh-huh. Fourth.
Lyndon Bower.
Thank you very much. So you're the four that missed the deadline. Why did you miss the deadline?
I indicated earlier that we had challenges with our staff.
You had challenges with your staff.
Yes.
So you acknowledge responsibility for the fact that you missed the deadline.
Yes, we do.
Thank you very much. Then I want to know...
He thinks he's doing something. He thinks he's doing something. Cool, he said in the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Topic podcast. Am I allowed to swear in here? In swear, man.
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start then becoming indoctrinated view on me. Hi guys, Emilio Tobias here, and I'm back with another video. Okay, we're not that type of channel. We're a channel about complaining about people and things, but mostly politics. This is the On the Contrary podcast, and we're back with another video. It's GNU times. It's ANC 40% times. It's political times. One of the interesting outcomes of the elections last year is that a lot of young people were deployed to be members of parliament. Some, I think, just symbolically, not for them to go and do anything specifically, because what are you going to do as a 19-year-old being a member of parliament? I think it's cool what PA did. PA deployed the young members of parliament and let them go through the induction and get to see what is for what. But very soon after, when serious things had to start happening, they sent them back. No harm, no foul. I think Chloe, there were two young ones that broke the record, but I think Chloe might have been the youngest one at the time. I think ANC also sent quite a lot of young people. EFF definitely sent a lot of young people. DA sent a few, some, but DA also sent young people. Now, I don't have an issue with the whole movement of getting young people into the spaces where old people have been messing up for a very long time. Yeah, I get it, but man, I'm a young person, believe it or not. But I'm not of that school of young people must be involved everywhere. I just think young people don't have the temperament for it. Yes, there's a place for young people in the world, I promise you. There's a place for young people in activism, in politics, and all these things. And in fact, I'll say this, fees must fall, for example. The way the youth chose to handle that whole thing, no one else would have handled it that way and wouldn't have achieved what they achieved. So, there is a place for it. I've never been the one to see it clearly when it's happening. I've always been a person who sees after the youth has done something in their own unique way, and it works out, that's when I see it. Unfortunately, that's my temperament, and I've been like that since in my teens or early 20s, when I was even more of a young person than I am now. I'm in my early 30s, by the way. Some people say I'm 45, I am not. So, young people just have a way of doing things that irks me. And some young people more than others. Now, EFF has been deploying young people for the longest time and making a mission of it. But I found that they don't necessarily send young people that are too green. Young people that don't know what they're doing. I don't know their political education program, formulated by Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, ding ding ding. probably put out quality young people that, like, there's Chirwa, there's Buyani, or Vuyani, and then there's Pambo and Tambo. All these young guys, I mix their names up, but I know their faces very well, that I think like contribute in parliament in such a constructive, robust way. Maybe they tough, maybe they all these things, but at the end of the day, they are very, very constructive. They're not just like reductive for the sake of being reductive. They're not rude. Some people say EFF is rude, but I don't think they are rude. I think EFF has probably taught us a lot about when in politics there's no this thing of age, there's no this thing of whatever. This is literally, homie, you need to account for what happened here, what's going on here. Now, all of these things we're all learning, we're all getting experience, and we're all learning things about parliament that we never knew before. There's one particular young person who's been making strides, which I guess is good. The fact that we've noticed it. But let me say it, no one annoys me more. Just the sight of their face. Not their face alone, but their behavior and the way they're going about things. Just like, bro, It's like, I don't know if it's for me to be embarrassed for him, but it's like, it's embarrassing to watch a little bit. It's embarrassing to watch a little bit. There's a guy called Liam Jacobs. Liam Jacobs is a DA member of parliament. Young guy, 23, might be 24, but when he entered parliament, was 23. 23-year-old going to parliament, yes, dope stuff. Homie's been given a proper talk by his father to say, hey man, when you go in there, doesn't matter what age you are. Homie also seems like he went to these old boy schools where you learn how to be a gentleman, you know how to greet, you wear a suit everywhere, play rugby, disciplined, focus, do your thing. That's not just me judging with my eyes. He seems like a very capable young man. However, I think his lack of work experience, life experience, is making him uniquely unqualified to do what he's doing. But maybe, that being said, maybe let him be in early. Let him be in early. Figure out the things. Learn with us. He will get better over time. So hopefully, obviously they'll still be in parliament. Hopefully DA keeps him there for a good while. So in 5 years, we'll be able to judge and say, yo man, this is how you were in the beginning. And this is how you are now. You are so much more effective in your role as a member of parliament, as a member of a committee or subcommittee, and you are holding people accountable in a manner that is constructive and moves us forward. This guy, man, we're doing a reaction today. This guy decided to be so rude and disrespectful. And in fact, I'm going to do a second video that will drop the day after this one about another new member of parliament who's a bit older, probably has the same amount of national government experience, but it's just a better example of how to articulate yourself in a manner that holds the accounting officer accountable for the work they are doing or what they've been mandated to do. Here's another thing, side note, accountable. I don't think people know what accountable means or what it means to be held accountable, because I think people think accountable, to be held accountable, is punishment. No. To be held accountable is not the punishment, and punishment is not to be held accountable. To be held accountable is to be held to account for things or things that were in your care or under your watch. Number one, for example, everyone is held accountable for their own actions. Nah. You're all accountable for your own actions. So if you are in the kitchen and we hear a plate fall and break, holding you accountable is not punishing you for breaking the cup. Holding you accountable is asking you, yo, you were in the kitchen alone with no one else. What happened to the plate? Was it you? Was it the wind? Was it the cat? What happened? That's how you hold someone accountable. Once they've accounted for what happened, then we can figure out if there was wrongdoing or if there needs to be retribution or punitive action and all those things. Now, when Parliament is about oversight over actual work that's being done. So people think like a minister or member of Parliament is doing actual government work. No. That's what DGs are for. That's what officials are for. Those are people that are hired. Those are people that don't go away when the government changes. They can be chopped around and people can be placed in there, but those are the people with jobs and salaries. When you're a politician or someone who's an MP or a minister or whatever, you are there to give direction, to judge whether this thing is working, pick up where things are going wrong so that certain interventions can be made on a policy or a national, on a policy level so that things can be fixed. Politician is not worried about the small nitty-gritty things as much as they should be in the grand scheme of things. When you're member of Parliament, president, whatever, president is not the one giving you 350, bruh. President is not the one sending you the money on the banking app. There are people whose job it is. The president just gives the direction as to, we're going to be doing this type of thing going forward. Can you guys figure out and make sure that it is done? I will check back with you in a certain manner of time to see if it was done in the way. Then when the report comes back, the president can report, yo, I had an idea for us to do this type of thing. It's happened and it's improved the country like this. So now, these committees in Parliament, for example, Netball South Africa, they were made to come and answer on the work that they've done in the previous year and I guess the current year. And they were asked to come and account for the state of the organization or agency. Ne?
Want to clarify is that I'm not going to be asking you questions nicely. I'm going to be asking you questions and I want responses immediately. So please be ready to respond. And I don't want political answers. I don't want answers where you are explaining and giving examples. I want yes, no, I want factuals, I want full stops. That's what I want. So I'm going to start with Netball World Cup. I want to know, did board members get funding from the Netball World Cup?
No.
You didn't. Okay. So I want them to know, if they are seeing it with us now, it implies that there might have been a deadline and you missed your deadline. So did you miss a deadline? Was there a deadline given to you for audited financials? What happened?
Yes, we did miss the deadline, sir.
When was the deadline?
It was supposed to be last year, March 20.
Last year, March. Who's responsible for missing the deadline?
It's us as a board.
Who's in the board?
The four of us that are here.
Who's the four of us that are here?
Okay, it's myself as a chair.
Name, surname?
Patience Shikwambana.
Okay, next.
Blanche de la Guerre.
Excuse me?
Blanche de la Guerre.
Thank you.
Sumaya Khan.
Uh-huh. Fourth.
Lyndon Bauer.
Thank you very much. So you're the four that missed the deadline. Why did you miss the deadline?
I indicated earlier that we had challenges with our staff.
You had challenges with your staff.
Yes.
So you acknowledge responsibility for the fact that you missed the deadline.
Yes, we do.
Thank you very much. Then I want to know...
He thinks he's doing something. He thinks he's doing something. Cool, he says in the beginning, yo, I'm not going to ask questions nicely. I'm sure there is kind of a dynamic which he has to overcome a little bit. Like, yo, there's no ages here. But still, man, we are people, bro. He says, okay, cool, I don't want this, I don't want wishy-washy answers, just answer straight, let's get to the point. Understandable. Now, what's the point of them saying, no, we had some staff issues. Oh, you acknowledge that you missed the deadline. Of course they acknowledge they missed the deadline. There was a deadline. It's not difficult, whatever. But let them speak. If you're holding them accountable and they're going to be dishonest, what do you mean staff issues? What are staff issues? Please explain. Were you not able to fix or see that this was going wrong? What interventions did you make to do whatever? You're accountable. Then let people finish talk. Ask difficult questions, but you don't have to be rude, man. And this guy is talking to a senior woman. Do I say old woman? Older woman. I'm speaking to an older woman the way his principal used to speak to him last year. Huh? What are you all doing here in the office? Huh? No, sir. No, sir. I don't want nothing. I want yes, no. Bro, just giving rugby coach, bro. Learn how to speak. Learn people. Learn people. My point of this is, even it would be one thing if the disrespect was getting anywhere, was helping with anything, but it's not.
How much did it cost you to measure your carbon footprint? I understand you don't have audited financials and you boasted about having a lower carbon footprint, but what we don't talk about is reporting. Reporting often costs a lot of money. How much did it cost you to measure your carbon footprint?
480,000.
480,000. Okay. Then I want to know your fan parks and the attendance. I want to know how much did your fan parks and your viewing sites cost and what was the attendance? Across the country.
Each province hosted their own fan parks. So the city of Cape Town hosted their one, Western Cape government hosted fan parks across the districts, and each province, wherever they found themselves, so they carried those costs of the fan parks.
So you don't know the cost of the fan parks?
No, because we were not responsible for it. The provinces carried those costs. I'm responsible for the Western Cape one, but we were not responsible as a board for the whole country.
So the board has no idea how much the fan parks cost? Because if you are saying it comes from then provinces and districts, you are then saying that this goes to municipal levels, you are saying that it goes to district levels and provincial levels, and you are saying that you don't know how much of taxpayer money or whatever went to these fan parks.
Embarrassed. You see, it's like, if you're going to come in with that confidence, you must be able to hold this thing. You must be able to hold this thing. They're saying to him, bro, we can tell you about the one we were responsible for. As a board, we can't involve ourselves with how municipalities are spending their money. As much as we can come to agreements with them that they're going to do this and that for the fan parks, we can say we need screens, we make sure safety is cool. The procurement processes at municipal level is their own thing. The procurement processes at provincial level is their own thing. Netball South Africa is not going to tell them how much they must spend or how much their suppliers must charge. Now he repeats the thing. He rephrases it to show that, hey, there's a level of understanding of what you're saying. And it's like, bro, if you understand that, then you know the board of Netball South Africa has no worry about the spending of a provincial budget in Limpopo or Gauteng. That's where he lost it.
No, we wouldn't know, as I'm saying, because it was a partnership with the provinces.
So you don't know?
No.
Okay, thank you for accepting that you don't know. Then I want to move to Netball South Africa. Now, you heard me talking about money, and I'm very clear on what I want to know. I want to touch on a lot of things, Jan. The first thing I want to touch on is that your financials reflect 41,041 Rand across 2 years for NSA condolences. What is that? Is there anyone to respond to me on finances here? I expect the CEO to be able to respond on finances.
Honorable Member, I have to check the document that you're talking about.
You can't check a document. You can't come to a portfolio committee that represents the people of South Africa and say you must check a document. You are a CEO and you are supposed to know what is inside of your document. So please explain to me and the 250 South Africans watching now and the hundreds of thousands that are going to watch, what is NSA condolences? You spent 41,000, you ought to know.
The only thing I can remember at the top of my mind is the players that, well, netball players that died. That's what I remember at the top of my mind.
You spent 41,000. What did you use it for?
But man, if you had work experience, you'd know. You can't ask a CEO about 40,000 rand, bro. What is a CEO gonna tell you about 40,000 rand? Now, there's thousands of lines on their financial statements. There's a lot of things to go through. There's millions and millions of rands being spent. You have an issue with a 40,000 rand. And let's say it was stolen. The CEO is not going to know, bro. And also, like, the CEO is not going to know off the top of her head. And you're being so rude that, like, you don't want it to just check. That means you don't want to know. That means your point is not to find something wrong with that thing. Your point was to show that she doesn't know every single line item on the balance sheet. And if we're going to be honest, it's unreasonable to expect anyone, maybe the CFO, to expect anyone to know every single line item. Like, and off the top of it, she says, yo man, that sounds like when we do something when professional netball players died. But I must double check how that works exactly. All I know is that it's done. She's probably shocked that, yo, it's only 40,000. Sounds a bit little, bro. But anyway, think, bro.
Honorable member, with due respect, can I get back to get the details? Because this is not for this financial year.
No, you are correct. It's not for this financial year. It's for the 2024-2023 financial
Look at his
year.
face.
At the financial years that ended in 2023 and 2024.
Exactly, honorable member. I was employed in
Financial
October
year can't end in 2023
and I wanted to be given an opportunity to go and check, and I will report back.
So you didn't do your homework before the portfolio committee. You present us a report. You don't do your homework on the report. What must can happen? Before the portfolio committee. You present us a report. You don't do your homework on the report. Yes. What must can happen?
So rude, bro.
Yes.
So rude, and like, let them answer and be wrong, bro.
I did my homework.
Now you don't know what the 41,041 rand was for.
Can I humbly request that I go and check those details, Honorable Jacobs?
You cannot.
You can see on her face, she's like, this child. But it's not about children, bro. you can't snap a member of parliament or else it goes into another thing. Yeah, bro. You can't let these kids you can't take these kids anywhere.
Not humbly request that you go and check details. It doesn't matter how you change the wording of your request. I want the answer now.
I don't have the answer now.
So you don't have the answer?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Then I want to move to correctional services. 53,091 rand was spent to a line item called correctional services. What was that for?
1,000 rand out of a couple of million rand budget during.
And what is your name, CEO? I want the South Africans to just hear your name and surname.
My name is Mudiegi Koman.
So, my point is, okay, cool. If you don't get people in at some point, how will they ever get experience? So him being in now might be the early steps of him becoming president one day, man. He's been in parliament since 23. By the time he's 35, and old enough to be a president, he would know the game inside and out, especially in parliament. Politics-wise, I don't know how it is. I see the homie, I give him props, the homie, when he's going on this portfolio committees to go and see the actual projects that have been done. He's been posting that on social media, and that's got a lot of traction at pointing out, like, yo, here's a stadium of 30 million that doesn't have grass, that doesn't have seats. It's just like 6 poles and cement. I think it's good, man. I think it's good, but you need to be more well-rounded and get there quickly, because this is our lives at hand, bro. You need to do it quickly enough that they don't think they need to replace you with someone. You're tough. I think even Ronaldo House would have been better at maneuvering these things. So, bro, all the best, no hate whatsoever. But yeah, at the moment your face annoys me. Hopefully in a few weeks, no, in a few years, we'll be able to say, yo man, this man has come a long way and he's been pushing the parliament thing. And he was one of the youngest members of parliament in the world. And he's killing the game right now. But for now, bro, it's not it, bro. I hope you saw the ladies afterwards and said, hey man, that was just for show. But you understand it's part of the job. There was no reason to be that disrespectful, bro. On any level. On any level. But anyway, I'm going to do another video tomorrow with another new member of parliament and maybe show what I think is a better way to hold people accountable for when they've been mismanaging and for them to expose themselves and not give them a chance to answer, man. But anyway, this is another episode of the On the Contrary podcast. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to ring and then hit the ring. Apparently, if you say those words, they flag your video. You're allowed to say, you know, so that you can get some and then I'll let you know. But that's the video for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Contrary podcast.
Am I allowed to swear there?
In Sweden.
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start them becoming indoctrinated. Your view on me.